Hi, my name is Brian, and in this video we're going to learn about the product rule for derivatives. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the rule. Say I wanted to take the derivative of a product of two functions, hence the name product rule. So let's say I have f of x and then times g of x. Okay, so the product rule works like this. You're going to take f of x and you're going to multiply by the derivative of g. So it's going to be f of x times g prime of x, and you're going to have plus, and then you're just going to switch it around. You're going to then take the derivative of f prime, or I'm sorry, the derivative of f, which is f prime, times, and then you're going to leave g of x alone. So this is the product rule. Let's go ahead, and I got two examples set up for us. Okay, so our first example is to take the derivative of the product. We have 3x to the 5th minus 2x. And then over here we have x to the 15th minus 4x squared. So you probably learned, and hopefully you learned in the last video, that your functions, when you take the derivative of each piece, has to be written in the right form. So this 4x squared, or 4 over x squared, will need to be rewritten as 4x to the negative 2. All right, otherwise you can't do the power rule with this. So let me go ahead and just rewrite this part right here with 4 over x squared being written like this. Okay, now that we have that set up, let's identify f of x and g of x. So I'm going to call this f of x. And then I'm going to go ahead and call this one g of x. So if this is your first time doing this, this is how I'd recommend approaching this problem. First, write out what f of x is. And we have 3x to the 5th minus 2x. So this is f of x. And then right below it, write out what f prime is. Now f prime, you're going to have to do the power rule on this, so you'd bring the 5 down. So we're going to get 15, because you got to multiply the 5 to the 3. And then you'd subtract 1 off the exponent, so 5 minus 1 is 4. Minus, and then the derivative of 2x. I remember there is technically a 1 here. So you'd bring the 1 down, multiply it to 2, and you get 2. And you'd get x to the 0, which is just 1. So the derivative is 15x to the 4th minus 2. And then you go over here and you do it again, but with g of x. So that's going to be x to the 15th minus 4x to the negative 2. And then you would immediately write g prime, which is going to be 15x to the 14, right? Because you're going to bring that 15 down and then subtract 1 off 15, you get 14. Now when you bring the negative 2 down, it's going to multiply to a negative 4, which makes a positive 8x, and then subtract 1 off negative 2. So negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. All right, so now I have all the pieces I need for the derivative. Let's go ahead and write that out now. So let me write this. So we got our derivative is going to equal, so we're going to have, where is it, f. So f is 3x to the 5th minus 2x times the derivative of g. So basically what you're doing is you are multiplying these two together. So then that's 15x to the 14 plus 8x to the negative 3 plus, and then now you have, where is it at? F prime times g. Now f prime, 15x to the 4th minus 2, and then g. So now what we're doing is we're multiplying these two together. So g is going to be x to the 15 minus 4x to the negative 2. And so that's the derivative using the product rule. So let's go ahead and try one more example. So I have the derivative of and a product of two functions. We have our first function, that's f, which is the square root of x minus 1. And then we have tangent x, which I'm going to call g. So that's going to equal, now you got to be careful again because this is not written in the right form. We need to rewrite that as x to the 1/2 minus 1 times, and then our second function, which is tangent. So let's go ahead and write down our f and g. So f of x is x to the 1/2 minus 1, and then f prime. So you're going to bring the 1/2 down. So you're going to get 1/2, and then subtract 1 off 1/2, which is going to be negative 1/2. And the derivative of minus 1 is 0, so that's gone. Let's go ahead and work on g. So g of x is going to be tangent. Now you may not know the derivative of tangent yet. You will pretty soon, or you can go ahead and watch the video on derivatives of trig functions. But the derivative of tangent is secant squared x. All right, so let's go ahead and write out the product rule. Now we're going to do f times g prime. So the derivative is going to be f times g prime plus, and then f prime times g. So f prime times g. Now it's probably safe to put things in parentheses here. Let me erase that. Times, and what I say, g. So that's tangent. And there you go. There's your derivative of this function up here using the product rule. Okay, so I have two functions up on the screen right here. What I want you to do is I want you to find f prime, and the solutions to these two problems and more information about the school I work at NIU, please follow the link down below.